Hello all. Today I have with me Advocate Swarali Jogwekar who will be addressing you all on the topic of age of understanding in criminal law along with provisions of Juvenile Justice Act.
Hello everyone. Today I have been asked to speak on the concept of age of understanding and its applicability in Indian criminal law. Let us begin with what is age of understanding. As we all know, in India, the age of majority is fixed to be at 18 years, which means that any person below 18 years of age is termed as a minor. It is a universally accepted notion that minors or children in general are innocent, deficient, and dependent in terms of their physical and mental capacity, which essentially means that their ability to take decisions and understand the consequences of their decisions is not completely developed. This is precisely why in India minors are not allowed to vote, and also their consent is considered to be invalid or immaterial under certain laws. However, we can see that this notion is changing greatly over a period of time, mainly due to the fact that children today have easy access to various platforms such as social media, television, internet, etc. Thus, nowadays, children or minors who are at the verge of becoming an adult have a more developed sense of understanding and thus have an increased ability to take decisions of their own. So, when we talk about age of understanding, we go beyond the traditional approach of calculating the age numerically and go on to consider various other factors and analyze whether a minor is capable of understanding his actions even if he has not attained the age of 18 years. So age of understanding basically depends on what factors besides numerical age can make a minor an adult. When we connect the concept of age of understanding with Indian criminal law, there are two scenarios. Firstly, when a minor is in conflict with the law, that is when it is alleged that a minor has committed an offence, and secondly, when an offence has been committed against him, that is when the minor is a victim of the offence. Let us consider the first scenario, that is when a juvenile or a minor is in conflict with the law. The Juvenile Justice Act 2015 is the leading legislation on this issue, and section 15 of the said act deals with the concept of age of understanding. Without going into the legal language of section 15, let me explain to you what it means. Section 15 states that any minor, any child below the age of 18 years but who has completed the age of 16 years when has alleged to have committed a heinous offence. Here, heinous offence means any offence, the punishment for which is more than 7 years. So, any child between 16 to 18 years of age when has been alleged to commit a heinous offence, then the Juvenile Justice Board has to carry out a preliminary assessment regarding the child's mental and physical capacity to commit the crime, to understand its consequences, and see in what circumstances the crime was committed. If after the assessment the Juvenile Justice Board comes to a conclusion that the child has a mental matured level of understanding and should be tried as an adult, then the board transfers the trial of the case to Children's Court. Now, while assessing this mental and physical capacity of the child, what factors are taken into consideration? Well, the Juvenile Justice Act as well as the Juvenile Justice Rules do not really specify any particular factors. There is, however, a landmark judgment of the US Supreme Court in case of Kent versus United States. In this case, US Supreme Court laid down 7 factors that have to be considered while deciding whether a child should be tried as an adult or not. By taking the help of this judgment, the Indian courts have established various factors which should be considered by the Juvenile Justice Board while carrying out its preliminary assessment. A summarization of these judgments show that the factors to be considered are as follows. Firstly, social factors. This includes details of family members, their educational qualification, their residence, their relationship with each other, etc. It further includes the personality traits of the child, the behavior of the child towards his parents and towards his teachers and friends, etc. It also includes the mental factors of the child. It also and goes on to include the neighborhood perception of the child, which means what the society thinks about the child before and after commission of the offence. Other factors to be included are the mental and health factors. In this, what is seen is how the child narrates the happening of the incidents. It is also seen that how the child reacted to the happening of the offence and what actions were committed by the child after committing the offence. Under mental and health factors, it is also seen if the child has an history of physical or mental abuse, either at the hands of his parents or at the hands of police officers after being arrested. One of the important factors that is noted down is whether the child is penitent, that is, does he feel remorse or does he repent his actions. Other than the mental and health factors and the social factors, few other factors that have to be considered in every case are: what is the nature of the offense, whether the offense committed was accidental, incidental, or committed on purpose, what was the extent of participation of the juvenile in the commission of the offense, whether the juvenile showed sophistication in commission of the offense, and most importantly, if the juvenile has any antecedents. By antecedents, what we mean is that whether the juvenile has any previously registered cases of committing similar offences against him. After assessing all of these factors, the Juvenile Justice Board presents its response whether the juvenile ordinarily has a matured level of understanding and thus decides whether he should be tried as an adult or should be treated as a juvenile offender. Now let's consider the second scenario, that is when a crime has been committed against a minor, meaning that the minor is the victim of an offence. Considering the nature of the offence, the relevant sections of Indian Penal Code come into picture, and when the offence is of sexual nature, the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act, that is the POCSO Act, also comes into picture. Now, there isn't any particular specific provision made under any law that states or makes it compulsory on a court to consider age of understanding of a victim whilst dealing with such cases. However, depending upon the nature of the crime and the age of the victim, courts have given importance to the concept of age of understanding in certain cases. As age of understanding of a victim mainly comes into picture or should come into the picture when an act is an offence merely on the ground that the consent given by the minor is invalid. One such example of such an offence is under section 361 of Indian Penal Code, which states that taking a minor or a child out of his parents or guardian's legal custody is an offence. The leading case on this offence is the case of S. Vardarajan. In this case, the facts were that a minor girl and a boy were in love and wanted to get married. However, the parents of the minor girl were against this relationship. The girl on her own accord then decided to leave the house of her parents and asked the boy to accompany her. Afterwards, they got married. Later, when all of this was found out, the boy was charged under section 361 of the IPC as explained earlier for taking her out of the legal custody of her parents. While handling this case, the Supreme Court of India has held that if the girl, even though minor, takes initiative or she is active in taking the decision of going away with the boy and understands the nature of the relationship of a man and woman and understands the concept of marriage, then the rigor of the offence is reduced. Further, it was held by Supreme Court that she was not a child of tender years and she was in fact able to think for herself, as she was on the verge of attaining majority and she knew what was good for her and what was bad for her. Considering all of this, the Supreme Court of India acquitted the boy for the offence committed, offence charged against him. Another example relates to a bail application in Bombay High Court, wherein there was a love affair between minor girl and a boy of 20 years and they engaged in physical relations due to the said affair. The boy was then charged with the offence under section 375, that is the offence of statutory rape. Here, whilst deciding the bail application of the boy, the Bombay High Court held that when a boy and minor girl are in love and choose to live together without the consent of their parents, one of the important factors to be considered is the age of the prosecutrix as well. Here, bail was granted to the boy and the order of Bombay High Court became a landmark order in terms of granting bail when the offence was of statutory rape. Thus, it can be seen that an act is an offence when an act is an offence merely on the ground that the consent given by the minor is considered to be invalid. The courts do look into the age of understanding that the minor has developed and not merely into the numerical age of the minor. This is just a summary of the concept of age of understanding and how it is applicable to Indian criminal law. Even though the law considers age of understanding when dealing with juvenile offenders and does lay down a proper provision and procedure for its applicability, there is unfortunately no written provision which incorporates the concept of age of understanding while dealing with juvenile or child victims. And in today's world, I feel it is highly necessary. I hope that with this, I could provide you with a basic understanding of the concept, and I am very glad that Advocate Swapna ma'am allowed me and gave me the opportunity to speak on this platform. Thank you.
The views expressed in this video are not personal in any nature and are based on the legal positions in India, Do not forget to like and comment on the video, and if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe to my channel and press on the bell button for more updates. Till then, bye. Thank you.